The world's strongest creature is gone, as is the world's strongest man and the world's strongest woman, each of them vanishing from this world due to various magma-related incidents. But that doesn't mean that the world's strongest have gone. All it means is that someone else is now the world's strongest man, woman, and creature, potentially even all three at once. Fish Woman Nami might even be a great candidate to take all three titles. But in this video, we are going to discover the new strongest individuals and create a new world order, just not in the conspiracy theory sense, and much more in the fictional pirate sense. And all I'll say right now is that it's probably not who you think it is. Or maybe it is. I don't know. You're just gonna have to watch anyway. Starting with the new world's strongest man, we find ourselves in Fight Battle Arena, the only appropriate place to decide the most powerful. So who's left in the One Piece world who is actually worthy of that title? One thing I can tell you right off the Barbie is that it's none of the lingering old men. The Monkey D. Garps, the Silvers Rayleighs, and the last name unknown Sengoku Cuckoos. Their era is over. And Rayleigh even said as much on Amazon Lily when he was all like, "Oh mate, I'm not so sure I could take that Blackbeard fellow. He's a bit too powersome for this here old man." I am of course paraphrasing, but that was definitely the general vibe. Collectively, Garp, Sengoku, and Rayleigh are just under 240 years old. They no longer belong in the center of the battlefield, and so we're going to gently push them aside, much like the shuffleboard that they all get together and play on a mid-Tuesday afternoon. There are some clear frontrunners though. Our main character Luffy should certainly be a consideration for World's Strongest post Gear 5th, because at the moment his power is theoretically unbeatable. There are two things you can do to counter it. One is to break Luffy's will, and the other would be to make him devoid of all imagination. However, I'm not so sure if the writers of Season 9 of Scrubs will be available that day, so I feel like imagination is fairly safe in this battle. With that said, there is one specific man who can theoretically counter Luffy's unbeatability, and that is the aforementioned Blackbeard. To be perfectly honest, I don't think he's the strongest man in the world right now. However, he definitely has the potential, and at the very least, his Devil Fruit nullification does give him an edge over Luffy that no other candidate has. It's quite inspirational, really, because Luffy and Blackbeard, they're parallel stories. Two rookie pirates with sleep-deprived dreams saying F you to the world and working their way to the top, whilst Blackbeard simultaneously works his way down to the bottom of a KFC family bucket. But I personally don't think that Blackbeard quite survives this conversation yet, at least not with the following competition, because another man who almost countered Luffy was Fleet Admiral Sakazuki, who came closer than any other person to breaking Luffy's will. Furthermore, as of this recording, Sakazuki is the only person in this world to have claimed the body parts of an admiral, a commander, and an emperor. Come to think of it, Sakazuki seems to have a bit of a weird thing for mutilation, but regardless, he is well and truly up there. Dragon would be in this conversation, however, just like his child, we have yet to see anything of Dragon yet, so it's impossible to judge him as anything except a questionable parent. Meanwhile, Mihawk is a very legitimate candidate, with one slight problem, which is that he did not appear in Kaido's power scaling top 5 list. That kind of makes Kaido sound like a YouTuber, actually. Hey guys, it's your boy Kaido, back with another power scaling video. These are the top 5 strongest characters in One Piece as decided by me, Kaido. Don't forget to smash that sub button like a club into the fragile skulls of your enemies, which will be you. You will be the enemies if you don't subscribe. But the only living man on Kaido's top 5 list is Shanks, so it's really difficult not to highly consider him for the title of World's Strongest Man, the notorious blocker of observation haki, which must make it very confusing to fight Shanks. First he's in front of you, now he's behind you, now you're behind him, now he's a boat, now you're a boat, and it's a boat fight. I don't know how boat fights work. But that's exactly what fighting Shanks is probably like. For such an important title though, I'm going to leave this to all of you. So I placed a poll in the Grand Line Review community section, you all did a fun vote, and as we tally those votes to select the world's strongest man, we have other important business to attend to. Kaido's vanishment from this world has led to an opening for world's strongest creature, and we now cut live to the zoo, which is the only appropriate arena for this particular tournament. And firstly, I think we should define what a creature actually is. For example, Kaido was an Oni fish dragon. So if that's a creature, then does that mean that all fishmen, giants, and basically anything not strictly 100% human is defined as a creature? I feel like if an Oni counts, then so does anything that's just plain not human. But the one thing we are getting rid of right away are humans that have eaten Zoan fruits. That is cheating. However, the other way around works, and let's open up this conversation with Chopper, specifically Monster Chopper, because when it comes to powerful creatures, he is shockingly up there. This little fluff ball tossed Queen like a salad and blocked Big Mom like a critical mass of pubic hair in a bathroom pipe. Chopper is not to be underestimated. However, other creatures are available. Seraph Jinbei would definitely be a top contender. When he first appeared, I called him Baby Jinbei. However, one of my viewers very cleverly pointed out that he should be named Jin Baby. Let me just bring up the essay of exactly what Jin Baby is. Okay, right, so he's a genetically modified fishman, Lunarian, cyborg, devil fruit using clone. I think that more than qualifies him for the creature category. In regards to power, the Seraphim are thought by Fujitora to be even stronger than their original warlord selves. And dare I say, thanks to the swim powers, fighting against Jin Baby on land is probably about as bad as trying to fight against Jin Daddy in water. However, there is a natural hierarchy to keep in mind here, which is that fish goes swim, cat eats fish, dog annoys cat, man pats dog and tolerates cat. Which brings us to Inuarashi and Nekomamushi, who both have phenomenal empirical displays of power, with both of them individually slightly on par with or below Jack, although in Sulong form, they both devastate Jack. But who is stronger, cat or dog? Well, technically, Inuarashi beat Jack, but Nekomamushi certainly would have done the same because that's what everyone does to Jack. You know, this channel is really mean to Jack, and I kind of feel bad. So you know what? I'm gonna say something nice about Jack. He tries very hard at all of the things he fails to do. I can't do it. I can't. There's nothing nice to say about Jack. In any case, all of this is probably moot because the strongest creature under our definition has to be Yamato. I really don't see anyone who even comes close. Because if Nekomamushi and Inuarashi did, then Yamato would not have needed to stay on Wano. To the world's strongest woman now, we cut back to Fight Battling Arena, although it's now sporadically covered in bobby pins. And look, I don't think that this one is particularly difficult. Nico Robin is a high place finisher these days, because even though she is not a confirmed Haki user of any sort, that doesn't seem to stop her from defeating various Haki veterans. Plus, she now wields the power of giants, demons, and casual nudity, so she is nigh on unstoppable. Except for when she gets stopped by the same woman who stops everyone else in this category. Boa Hancock, I have complete confidence, is the current world's strongest woman. She is a perfect triple threat when it comes to Haki, and her Devil Fruit proves superior over 99.9% of this planet's population. Even fellow contender for strongest woman Katarina Devon was one shot by Hancock's abilities. In a way, and it's quite appropriate because it's very similar to the effect of Big Mom's Devil Fruit. They both one-shot you for feeling certain feelings. For Big Mom, that's crippling fear, and for Hancock, well, that's, we all know the feeling. I suppose on the flip side, Hancock does become a lot less dangerous if you just don't feel the feeling, like Jinbei did with Big Mom that one time. So I'm imagining an alternate scene now with a conflict between Hancock and Jinbei, where our Straw Hat recites the famous line he did to Big Mom. I'm a man who wants to sail with the future pirate king. I can't afford to be aroused by a mere warlord. But Boa Hancock is the world's strongest woman. Easy. However, that's not quite right. Because if you remember correctly, Big Mom's title was actually the world's strongest hag. And so now we cut to our local retirement property to award the title. And in case you're wondering, Merriam-Webster defines a hag as a, quote, ugly, slatternly, or evil-looking old woman. Slatternly meaning untidy or unclean. So that is our key hag criteria. One of which Katarina Devon fails instantly because she is not an old woman. In fact, she's only 34 years old, which I find quite shocking because that's disturbingly close to my age. So for my own self-preservation, I cannot label Devon as old. Suru is another candidate that comes to mind as she is 76 years old. However, the problem is that she's not ugly, she's definitely not evil, and the very nature of her devil fruit is all about cleanliness. I feel like Luffy listening to Judge rant about Sanji. Like, why are you listing all of these great things about Suru in such a negative way? But unfortunately, or fortunately, Suru is the exact anti-hag. Weirdly enough, Jewelry Bonnie may come up in discussion as she has hag potential, with the ability to age herself up, and also being a notoriously untidy person, with the fact that she's a pirate portraying quite an evil image to the public. However, just like humans eating Zoan fruits for the creature category, I just feel like this would be cheating. Yeah, Bonnie does have the option to become a hag temporarily, but that's not the core of this contest. A much stronger participant would be Miss Buckyan, who is absolutely evil, and I'm gonna say subjectively ugly. However, the one thing that I will grant Buckyan is that she is certainly not untidy. She's very well put together in her Irish leprechaun getup, so I'd say she definitely qualifies as a hag, but now the question I have is how powerful is Miss Buckyan? Because we can't just award this prestigious title to any old lady. It is popularly speculated that Buckyan was a member of the Rocks Pirates. However, that is very unconfirmed, and as a result, all we know is that she allegedly slept with Whitebeard, which, to be fair, I feel like one would need a fair bit of durability to do. Although we do have a problem with the word alleged as opposed to the much more better word which would be confirmed. However, with all of that in mind, Buckyan is the frontrunner so far. But stepping back into the good old days, Dr. Kureha is a very strong contender in this field. Because while we all know that she isn't evil, most people in this world do get a bit of an evil vibe from her, which Kureha does purposely play up. So much so that she is literally referred to as a witch. Plus, I often forget this, but Kureha is a legitimate superhuman. In terms of strength and speed, Indeed, she is so powerful that had the Straw Hats not stopped by, she absolutely could have taken out Wapol. Not that that's a great benchmark for anything. But still, the only thing stopping me from publicly labeling Kureha as the world's strongest hag is the feeling of profound dread that she would come after me if I were to do so. As a reminder, Kureha is 141 years old, thus making her the oldest known woman in the world, and perhaps reluctant wielder of the world's strongest hag title. Because apart from everyone I've already mentioned, the best candidate would be someone like, I don't know, like say Mummy Me. And just in case you don't remember, because why would you? Mummy Me and Daddy D were the owners of an orphanage that offered to take in Nami and Nojiko. However, my own personal headcanon is that Mummy Me and Daddy D are evil because they are far too well dressed to be humble house parents. They are almost certainly siphoning funds meant for the orphans and using it to fund their lavish lifestyles. However, I have nothing but circumstantial evidence for this. So Dr. Kureha is going to take the title whether she wants it or not. But now is the moment you've all been waiting for. The results of the world's strongest man. And it's been a hard-fought battle between 4 of the contenders, each of whom received next to none of the votes, because Shanks absolutely demolished this poll. Like, holy crap. Full disclosure, I absolutely expected Shanks to win, but just not this overwhelmingly. However, I think this is very fitting. Just as Whitebeard dominated his competition in the day, Shanks is going to do the same in his day, which is now, it's today. And until proven otherwise, it is my distinct honor to crown Shanks as the world's strongest man.